Tourney talk, and because our Tourney talk has to do with these like this cool little presentation that I made. I took a lot of time to do this. It has to do with some of the things that are going on, the breaking news, yes, we have some alerts. We have some alerts because we have some movement going on. And let's add this in there. Boom, let's start off with our Tourney news. Look at that. Production value.
Right.
Isn't that sweet? Look at that. That's a pretty sick slide.
Yep, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah.
So we're going to kick off the news with what we've been seeing recently, which is Seattle Thunder, now Brooklyn Bears. Right. Which something I was talking to Dennis about, which I didn't know, but it was a mid-year thing where Brooklyn Bears did merge with Seattle Thunder to create Seattle Thunder's roster for the rest of the year.
Correct. Yeah.
So now they're dropping.
Well, and see, so the impetus behind this, I still haven't actually heard what the reasoning for it is, but along with this name change, there has also been exactly, Lupe, the Thunder Bears are no more. But along with this name change, are the original, 4 of the original squad members are leaving along with it. So Corey being probably the most, well-known. Map Chim, another name. Well, for those older who remember Map, he actually used to play for Dynasty. He played for Naughty Dogs as well. Super chill guy. Essentially the OG core of Seattle Thunder is leaving along with it. So yeah, as you said, Eugene, they're moving forward. They're going to be known as the Bears, whether they're going to stay as a Seattle team or if they're just going to be Brooklyn Bears, I guess remains to be seen.
Yeah,
but that's kind of been brewing for a while, and that's been a rumor that's been going around for some time, and obviously it's come to fruition. So
yeah, so we're gonna next year see either, again, like Dennis said, either they may even be either Seattle Bears or if they're going to be Brooklyn Bears, but it is going to be the Bears and Thunders are no longer. Yep. So we'll see what happens. And like Lupe said, are we going to, he said Thunder Bears no more, but who knows? They might, again, maybe Seattle. So that was something that we saw. We wanted to bring up. We want to talk about it because obviously it is tournament news, and we are starting to see some tourney news popping up again because obviously new year. And
yeah, I mean the first NXL event is right around the corner, literally. And then alongside that, we've got Bunker Fest coming up. There's a lot of the more locals like WCCPL has got stuff coming up. Iron City or ICPL has already had, I think, 2 events, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I mean the season's already starting to kick off.
Yeah, so we got to get this news out there, and this was the first thing that we saw. We thought, you know what? Hey, let's throw this out here. Next, wait, you know what? I got to do something because we don't need this in there for right now because we have that. So next, we are going to move into some more of this. Oh, what's that? What do we hear? Free agencies.
Yes.
We got some new bodies coming out here. We're going to start off with Greg. How do you say it? Rostek?
Yeah.
Yes. He's one of our free agents. And sorry, I got thrown off. I don't have the window covered so they can see in. But anyways, we're going to start off the list with him. And Dennis, tell us where is he coming from?
That's actually a very good question. I haven't even seen this. I haven't seen this one pop up yet. So this is news to me as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you saved it.
I didn't save that.
Yeah, it's on here.
I didn't save that.
I didn't save it. Who saved
Okay,
it?
okay. Well, I'm gonna assume that that's he's coming from he's leaving Revo, going into the free
Yes,
agency market.
he's
So
leaving Revo. It was 4 days ago that this came. Yeah, it's saved in our thing.
okay, I don't remember saving it. That's my bad. My
I was
bad.
like, oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna throw him up there. So yeah, he entered into free agency. He was with Baltimore Revo.
Yeah.
He's now out there, and let's see who's. You know what? Honestly, he was hard to find. I was like, he's not like your. I don't want to say bigger names.
Well, that's true. I mean, he's not one of the more well-known names. Obviously, he doesn't show up on there like a Tyler Harmon or an Alex Goldman or something like that. But then again, Revo has always had they've had a core group of guys who have kind of flown under the radar, but they've been very consistent and they've had some success with those guys. And I do know that Greg was he was kind of their I believe he was like their like midfield killer, you know. So this is going to be a little bit of a slap to Revo. They are losing one of their better players, and again, part of that core group that has been together for all this time.
Yeah, from what I read, that he was uh, several. He's been on the radar for several years, and he might end up with a team like Energy or New York Extreme. He could be
Now,
filling in.
so that being said, and I know we're going to talk about him in just a sec here, but that's interesting that Extreme is one of the teams that he may end up with, and like
yeah,
I said,
we'll get down to that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get down to that when we get down to, because again, production value.
Yeah, right.
We created this whole thing. We are going to use this. All right. So again, yeah, he's been there, kind of their mid player. He's been with Rebel for several years, but he's not one of those that's like pops up to mind when you think as one of the
Star player. Yeah.
player.
And
but then again, on Revel, who does pop up as a star player?
exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
and not to take anything away from any of those guys,
no,
but
of course not.
I mean, they're just not a superstar stacked team,
Exactly. So he's a free agent. All right, cool. Moving on. Another free agent, John L.J. Woodley.
Yeah. So this one was a little bit of a surprise, only because LJ kind of like he flew under the radar. I think he left the pro ranks for a period of time.
Yeah.
Back. And so again, this is another name that I recognize going back a few years. He may not be as well known to the newer generation of players. But he was another kind of one of these silent killer type players where, yeah, he had a reputation for, getting things done on the field. But at the same time, he wasn't one of these like big superstar, big names that you expect to see every time, the team steps on the field. And it's just consistency. There's another one of these kind of character guys that I think would make a great addition to a roster for that very reason. He brings a lot of character. He does a lot of little things well, and he's kind of a silent killer.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I looked him up and stuff like that. I was looking at, so we've seen him on, I think, what was it? He was Houston Heat. He was with Houston.
I believe he was with Houston for a little while. He also played back in the day.
I can't tell the.
God dang it! Now the team's escaping me. He obviously played for. What's that?
Was it Distortion?
Distortion.
2012. So he did Distortion. He did Heat, and then he moved on to where he's at now, or where he was at,
which was Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
with Damage.
now we're seeing where he's going to be moving to from here, which your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, again, this is there's a lot of things that are up in the air. I know a lot of rosters are trying to finalize, within the next few weeks here, because they've got to start training together. They've got to start getting the rosters to gel, especially if they're bringing in new blood.
Yeah.
And they're not, the team, especially the upper, like I'd say like the top 10 teams, don't have a lot of time on their hands to be able to get a lot of these minutia done before the first event of the season. So
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see where he lands. All right, next, free agent. This is the one you were going to talk about. This is the one.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, so this one goes hand in hand with Greg, so to speak. And this was a little bit of a surprise though, because Harris Hussein leaving New York Extreme. I mean, the Husseins have been a fixture with the team for quite a while, Harris especially.
Yep.
I'd be real curious to see what happens, whether he's going to sign with another team or whether he's going to sign with another team or if he's going to maybe take a step back and maybe take this season off. I don't know.
I think, I don't know. I think he's going to, let's see what he has to say. Heard he was asked to leave. Wow.
Yeah, see?
There we go. We're getting some new rumors, new scoop. Wait. Luca, we're going to do this again. Hold on. I should have had a rumor one, but heard he was asked to leave.
Asked to leave. So that being said, especially if that is true, Lupe, I'm not entirely surprised because Extreme kind of had a little bit of a reputation for being, a lot of this on the sidelines and in the pits and stuff like that. And surprisingly enough, the one time that things actually got heated in the pits, and this was the Extreme guys jawing back and forth with, of all people, Mike Hinman, owner of Aftermath. And apparently one of these guys stepped to Hinman put him down. And Harris was the one that actually broke it up and told him to go, told the Extreme player to go have a seat and what have you. So, but yeah, normally this is the guy who's kind of in the middle of all of that trash talk that's going on the sidelines. Yep. So, as Lupe said, no one is surprised.
I'm not. I'm not surprised. And also, I'm not a fan of, I'm just going to say, I'm not a fan of him whatsoever. Every time I've seen him play, every time I've seen him on screen talking, shooting his mouth off, it's like, dude, somebody needs to shut him up.
I mean, on the field, I'm not really going to make any kind of, comments about that because, I mean, he's managed to he's been part of the reason why Extreme has been able, to stay, all
right, I'll take it from you.
The best guy off the field of yeah. See, and that's it's funny too because, it's I know I always make a lot of hockey analogies, but like on the ice, these guys literally want to beat the hell out of each other, but off the ice, they're best friends. They're the nicest guys, and that doesn't entirely surprise me to hear somebody say that off the field he's actually a really good guy. It's not surprising. But yeah, when it's like I say, in the middle of the game, in the pits, I mean, the dude's got diarrhea of the mouth sometimes. And so, yeah, again, nobody's really surprised that he was asked to leave. However, that does leave a little bit of a hole in their roster. Now, does that mean they're going to go out and try and pick up LJ or pick up Greg? Who knows? That remains to be seen. But I think Extreme could probably get from either one of those guys.
But LJ's more of, no, LJ is a center player.
Yeah.
So, and between him, LJ, and
Greg Rostek.
Yeah, there's two potential that could go to somewhere like Extreme.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what
But
happens. But
yeah, exactly. We'll see what happens. But again, that being said, um, Extreme also does have. I mean, they don't have an established like farm team like DMD did or like Aftermath guys did. You know, they don't have established teams that they were kind of grooming their players to be able to move up, but
yeah,
they do have a stable of players in the divisional ranks that could come in and fill those spots. Now, whether they can fill them, you know, effectively, that remains to be seen.
all right. Next, we are going to move into actually people that have been signed. So, speaking of back to the Bears of Brooklyn, they've now signed Frank. Oh my God, this seems right in the way of the name. Frank
And
Antanamaso. There we go. The little slide thing is right in the middle of the name. So
yeah.
Frank Antanamaso. That's who they've signed.
Yeah, so you probably have a little bit more information on your end than I do on this one. So
Let's see if I do. 2003 season. He came in. He's got history with the Bears and has played with them since 2015. Frank played recently, has been with Aftermath, which I saw that too as I was looking through his stuff. And now he's moving from Aftermath to go back with the Bears. So that's pretty much all I've got.
Yeah.
And from another source that I'm looking at now that I found it. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like they're going to be an East Coast team as far as the Bears. So he's going back.
Yeah, I mean, again, it wouldn't entirely surprise me if they just stuck with Brooklyn Bears and because the NXL doesn't have divisions in the same sense that like, you know, other professional sports do. In that, you know, I think the reason why like LA Ironman was because the team is based out of that state, but it's not necessarily, you know, the teams aren't broken up into, you know, regional divisions. So you're not going to see more matches between like Seattle and LA than you would, you know, LA.
Which honestly, if we were to move into real leagues and turn into a real sport, as we said towards the end of last year, how we were saying that this is not a sport. This is just a game that's being played, which is sad. We're hoping that maybe this year we'll see that. You know, we could see some headway in that direction, but we don't know. But if it was regional, then yes, then you'd have your New York teams could be like New York Yankees and, you know, the Mets, which you've got the Brooklyn Bears and you've got New York Extreme. Then you would come over to LA, and then you'd have Ironman from LA, and then you'd have Dynasty from SD, and then
Infamous is in LA, technically Los Angeles Infamous.
So they would almost be like the California Angels and the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Exactly. And I mean, we said that there is still another Seattle team in Uprising, so you know, Uprising is still there. But again, as of right now, there is no regional grouping for the teams or anything like that. So I think the name is kind of academic, and it's basically just this is where the team started, you know. And especially at the pro level, a lot of these players don't necessarily live in the area that their team is based out of, and so again, it's more just a name than anything else.
Yep. So, you know what? I'm feeling like this is just really structured ever since I put this production value to it. I'm not feeling so free flowing like we used to. I don't know why.
That's on you, dude. I don't know.
I thought, you know, this would be great. And I'm like, now that I'm going through it, it's like, I don't know. What do you guys think? For those of you guys, I mean, Lupe, Do you like this new format? Do you like this production value? But anyways, all right, we're gonna move on to the next one. Bam!
So
Signing with
that's
last
yeah,
cap.
that's another one. That's another one. So again, as we see, Revo's losing yet another player. That's kind of part of their core group. If there was a superstar on Revo,
He would be the one.
Rob Bellis is probably one of them.
Yeah.
But him going to Blast Camp is kind of interesting because, Blast Camp has always had a reputation for being a very tough team to play. They play at a very, they play at a very high level. These guys are good. They're very good. And adding a player like Rob Velez is definitely going to make them that much better, especially coming into this season. I expect to see Blast Camp really turn some heads. I would not be shocked at all.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Again, it's another. Let's see what happens. I mean, they picked up Rob, which honestly, I think Rob's talent is, and I hate to say this, and I don't want to sound like a douche, but potentially being wasted over at Revo. Revo has always been kind of a.
They're a middle of the pack team.
Yeah,
They always have.
I was about to say that. They're middle of the pack, and it just kind of sucks for, like guys that do have talent that end up going there, which is great. If they get their start there and then they can springboard to somewhere else, and that's what it looks like, at least with Rob is going to be doing. And like Dennis said, this is number 2 that these guys are losing within the last, that we're finding out about, at least in the last 2 weeks.
The last couple of weeks.
Yeah. So, but let me look back really quick to see if there were others that they lost from Revo. Yeah, I don't see anything right now. At least I'd have to go onto the other site to be able to check it out. But as far as we know, was there any other trades before the end of the year that you could think of from Revo? I could have sworn there was.
Oh, for Revo? Oh,
yeah.
Geez.
There was others that have jumped ship.
Crap. I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I slept since then.
No, that's Lupe. He's been asleep.
Oh, yeah. He slept through New Year's.
Seriously, Lupe, you've slept through New Year's? God, at least I was busy.
That's what he said.
I know, but at least I played some Modern Warfare until the end. Till the end of the year. That's what I did. Yeah, that's all I can see right now. But all right. So next one. Bam! Connor Kelly signed with Houston Heat.
Yeah, so the ML Kings managed to hang on to their spot for this year.
Dude, they squeaked.
Yeah. Well, not squeaked.
To me, it was
the Latin Saints squeaked. But that being said, he was kind of the ML King guided missile. This kid is phenomenal to watch play. And the fact that he signed with Heat, I expect to see amazing things between him, Tyler, Fedorov, and crap, I can't think of his name now.
For ML?
No, for Heat.
Oh, for Heat.
Yeah. I can't think of the other player's name off the top of my head now. And it kills me because he used to play for the Philly Americans and he was like,
oh my God, now am I gonna have to look that up?
But at any rate.
Anyways, I don't want to go back that far.
Between him and Tyler, that's gonna be something else.
This is gonna be, for Heat. Oh, there you go. Chad George.
Well, that's not who I was thinking of, but that's yet one more player.
So Heat's going to definitely be stepping it up. This kid is a serious serious player.
Yeah.
That came from ML.
Yeah.
So good luck to him. Good luck to Heat. See what they can do. Adding a basically like a little missile into that to because when he plays well.
Yeah.
All right.
And like I say, he's another one of these like little guided missiles. You can almost put him anywhere on the field, and he can play most positions, effectively.
Yeah.
Are you wasting your time sticking him in the back? No, not necessarily, because even back there, he's got good field awareness. He can call out lanes, but he can make those crucial bumps when it's necessary, and he's got the speed to be able to fill those slots.
Yeah, like Lupe saying, he's a killer. He
Oh,
definitely was.
absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely, he's a killer.
I do know, I do remember throughout the season hearing the name Connor, Kelly, that being shut out as they were playing, and he was doing a lot of the killing. The kid's good. The kid is definitely good. So
Yeah.
it's a good addition for Heat. Look forward to watching Heat next year or this season to see how the kid does with this group of other veterans that are on there, especially, God, like he's named off Fedorov. I mean, holy crap. To say that he's playing on the same line with Fedorov, it's like,
well, and see, therein lies the other thing that I'm curious now that Heat has picked up Connor Kelly. I'm wondering if they're going to separate some of these guys on the two different lines, because like you send Chad Harmon and like Ron Dizon on one line, and then you put Connor Kelly, Fedorov, some of Heat's other killers. I mean, that's a lot to contend with. That's a lot to contend with, especially if you're one of the lower tier teams who, are, I hate to say it, kind of struggling struggling to compete. Heat's gonna be looking real good this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking.
I would not be surprised.
I'm looking forward to seeing what Heat can do. That's going to be definitely all right. Out of that, so yes, that was our new.